All right. So it's Tom here, techbait.net, crypto blogger, Mr. Excitement. Here I am in New York City. We'll see how long it takes to upload this video. Yeah, I like doing videos from my phone, from the street. It's just the uploading is the worst part because of the signal I have in this part of town. If it was quick, it'd be perfect. So, I was looking at articles on my site here, techbait.net. You're free to use it to keep up with crypto and tech happenings. So anyway, I saw this article before that it was talking about Bill Gates wished he could short Bitcoin, and Tyler Winklevoss of the Winklevoss twins, who got rich in Bitcoin. They got rich. They sued Zuckerberg of Facebook, but they took that like $11 million and became billionaires by putting it into Bitcoin a few years ago. And now they run the Gemini crypto trading exchange, which is a really good exchange. So anyway, I was looking at some of the comments on one of these articles. It was on a Yahoo site, and it's funny whenever you get the comments on a general site like Yahoo as opposed to like a crypto site. You see the ignorance of the masses, right? You see the anti-Bitcoin people, the Nocoiners, the Luddites. They come out of the woodwork and they start trash talking Bitcoin. It's worthless. It's got no intrinsic value. And when you bring up the arguments that, the dollar, the pound, the euro, none of these currencies, these are all fiat currencies. These don't have any intrinsic value either, other than the value of the paper and the ink, which is almost nothing. They come back with, and this is kind of accurate, but they say, well, no, it's backed by it might not be backed by gold, but it's backed by the economy of the nation that's issuing it, and the GDP, whatever. Well, my thing is, well, what about the debt? What about the debt? These systems are on the brink of collapse, or heading that way because of this massive debt that's always there. Look, crypto is like Bitcoin and all that. Bitcoin has real utility, and it's got proof of work, right? It's got proof of work. I'm sorry, I have a cough. I'm going to be coughing. Nothing I can do about it. It's got proof of work. It may be a virtual currency, but it's still real. It's real. It's real as Microsoft Word or Windows. And just like what's more real, Microsoft Word or a typewriter? Which would you rather have? So anyway, if anything, Bitcoin is hobbled as a currency because governments and people are standing in the way of it being used that way. They're putting up all these barriers, like especially tax, right? The U.S. government and a lot of other governments say, well, the minute you not only sell it, but if you use it to buy something, we're going to consider that a sale, so we're going to tax it. So on top of using it for whatever it is, you're going to pay a tax on however much you're tendering. That's going to kill it as a currency, and that's not because there's anything wrong with it itself. It's because of barriers that are put up, to stop it. I mean, that's not the fault of the technology. You can't say, well, Bitcoin's not this or Bitcoin's not that, when the governments are hobbling it as a currency, right? They don't want you to use it as a currency, as an alternate currency. They don't want that, right? At least not until they're ready to use it like that themselves, and they have the mechanism in place now. And there's some rumblings there that's the way it's going, but it's not there yet. So all these arguments that these people make about, it's all centered around Bitcoin too. That's the funny thing. They usually say in passing, about all the other altcoins, and they just lump them all together as all these other alternate currencies without even knowing what the heck they are. You know, a lot of these alternate currencies aren't really currencies they weren't meant to be currencies. You know what I mean? They weren't meant to be currencies. Like they're tokens for to pay for things on a certain network or whatever platform. You know, you've got like Ethereum with the smart contracts. You have like VeChain is a good one, right? You got VeChain. I don't know if it's going to come up. VeChain with the smart. No, it's going to have its own it's RFID, and it's going to have its own blockchain. It's moving from Ethereum to its own blockchain. So, and it's going to have all this RFID tracking of all kinds of products from you know, all the way over to from production to sale, and you know, consumers will be able to know the entire life cycle of the product, and it could be consumable products, it could be luxury products, and you know, it doesn't really matter. And they've got chips to back it up. They've got actual computer chips, RFID chips that are going to be used in this process. I mean, this is a whole infrastructure. As you can see here, you know, Price Waterhouse Cooper has bought into VeChain as an investor here. Now, would all these companies be buying into these various crypto technologies if they weren't real, if they didn't have real value? And honestly, I see this kind of oversight on both sides of the equation, right? I see it on the Nocoiner side where everything's Bitcoin. They don't know what the heck an altcoin really is. They don't know the difference between various altcoins, and they just think everything's a currency or everything's like a smaller version of Bitcoin, which it's not. Okay, so that's pure ignorance. And then on the crypto side, you see a lot of people who only consider Bitcoin, yeah, it's the one true cryptocurrency. Well, that may be in some respects, but it's not the only. It's not the only crypto that has a utility. You know what I mean? Not every cryptocurrency is really a currency or meant to be a currency or a medium of exchange in a consumer fashion. Okay, put it that way. It may be meant to exchange value on a platform or a network, right? Which can be completely different. And then you got the whole smart contract thing with the smart contract blockchains like Ethereum and Neo, etc. So these things all have value, and there's a lot of they're gonna change business, they're gonna change industry, and there's a lot of value behind that. But on the crypto side, you have a lot of these people who are Bitcoin only. In other words, it's basically Bitcoin and shitcoin. You know, if it's not Bitcoin, it's a shitcoin, and the only reason for a shitcoin is to trade it back into Bitcoin. That's just the people who are pure traders and investors, and they have it wrong too. You know, you should not be completely invested in Bitcoin. I don't care how good it is right now. You know, what if someday this thing, you know, it gets decoupled from everything, and all of a sudden people realize, I'm not saying this is true, but they come to the realization it really doesn't have the value. There really is nothing backing it, and it becomes worthless. Then what? Where's your investments now? You know, what about all these other crypto technologies that are going to take off due to their own strengths, their own utility, you know, their own partnerships and investments. So you should be diversified within the crypto space. Don't just diversify amongst investment types or asset classes. You know, and the other thing is this: for people who are like economically well-rounded, you're going to have fiat, right? You need fiat just to live, right? To pay your bills. You're going to possibly have precious metals, right? You're going to have cryptos, and then within the crypto sphere, you're not just going to have Bitcoin. You're going to have all these other. Some idiot with a blasting radio. You're gonna diversify within the crypto space. So just keep all that in mind. So you need to like ignore these Nocoiners because these people are ignorant, and also the Bitcoin maximalists who think that everything other than Bitcoin is a scam. They're also kind of dumb, right? The smartest people, the smartest investors are those who are well diversified amongst various asset classes and also diversified within the crypto space itself. All right, you should be invested in various cryptos, and do your research and make sure, because there's a lot of garbage out there. Make sure you're getting something that's got something going for it. Not just hype. Not just hype and vaporware and a white paper. You may want to take a chance on something like that if you see down the line it's going to mature into something and it really does have a roadmap and the white paper leads someplace real. But don't just invest in those. And that's why, this isn't like just a show post for VeChain. I'm just saying this VeChain thing is really possibly one of the only real, let's face it, there's a lot of use cases out there, a lot of utilities. The smart contract thing for Ethereum makes Ethereum valuable. You've got the NEO thing. NEO's got an in with the Chinese government, the Asian side of things, where maybe they don't trust Ethereum. There's other tokens that cater to specific industries. Whether here comes a guy really screaming on his phone, so hopefully you won't hear too much of him. So you've got. What is it? So you got VeChain with the RFID. You got the RFID stuff. You have he's being heard all right. He's loud. You guys shouting. He says, I'm not being heard. He's being heard. He's heard loud and clear. So anyway, as he fades away, New York City, right? New York City, awesome. Not always. What I was saying, there's a lot of cryptos out there with a lot of things going for them. I still believe that this VeChain is incredibly undervalued. It's got partnerships. It's got working product. It's got everything that you would want in something in this space. And the fact that it's trading around just under and just above $5 a token right now is mind-boggling, right? I'm telling you, if you've got, look, I am not an investment advisor. Do your own research, but after you've done your research, if you find that I am correct on this, and I know I am, barring some unforeseen, unknown something comes to light, this thing here is got to be one of the smartest investments ever, okay? And look, I get nothing. I get nothing out of this. There's no commission for pumping. What? I don't have any influence. My channel doesn't get that many views, so it's not like if you stumble across my video, just take it for what it is. But I don't have that kind of influencing power. Even the biggest YouTubers don't have that kind of influencing power. So there's no real agenda behind me saying VeChain is a great investment. I'm into it. I see the value. I can't believe how undervalued it is. I'm stoked about the future potential here and the future return because you can get it so cheap right now. My only regret is that it's not 5 cents right now instead of $5 because I wish I could find something that was a future VeChain, a future NEO, whatever, that I could still get into in the cents rather than the dollars. But I picked up NEO at $5 originally, and it went up. It went up to almost $200. It backed off in the crash, but it's around $75, $80 right now, and it's going to be going back up. But my whole thing is I only have a few of them, really. At the time I only bought a few. I didn't realize where it was going. So anyway, now you have. So now you got VeChain, which is still in that range. It can be a future, definitely $750 to $1,000 token at some point, maybe even more. Who knows? and you can get it right now for like $5. I'm stoked about that. I'm very happy, and I'm gonna keep. I get an extra $25, $50. I'm putting it, into crypto, sending it over, and buying this stuff now because it's so cheap to buy. Now there are other potentials. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to be as potential as this thing, but things like Holochain you can get for less than $1 right now. I think that's got right. It's kind of vaporware right now, but it's got certain potential, certain utility there. That's why I did a video on that. And these are the things I'm on the lookout for. But right now, potential future value, I can't see anything that beats VeChain, right? Then right now it's going to be VET, VET. They're going to move to their own blockchain soon, so you'll be able to earn the Thor token when it comes out. Just like with Neo, you earn gas. With VeChain, you will earn Thor just for holding VeChain. It's like a dividend thing, So this is, I envy the people who are going to have enough tokens to have master nodes in the, they have 10,000 plus tokens of this. I can only can only imagine getting in at the prices they got in at to have that kind of stash, But my stash is relatively small, unfortunately. But it's a lot more than I have of Neo. I'll tell you that, a lot more. And when these things go up to where they go, they're going to add up to be sizable investments. Fortunately, you're going to have to pay tax on that gain. That's the bad part, but you got to do what you got to do. So anyway, look at that, and just don't be one of these no-coin people. Don't be one of these no-coin people who, they miss the forest for the trees or whatever. They, whether they're the anti-Bitcoin people on the one side or they're the Bitcoin shitcoin people on the other. Your best place is in the middle. Your best place is in the middle where you're not beholden to some strict ideology of BS and you are well diversified. And you realize that there are lots of other cryptos out there that have lots of other utility. You don't just want to be in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a great thing to be in. You'll see where it ultimately goes, whether it does end up as valuable as they say it's going to be. In that case, great. You can always sell your stuff back into Bitcoin later when whatever you have gets to where it's going, if you don't think it could go anymore. If you're just doing it as an investment, at that point you can always sell it back into Bitcoin, or fiat or whatever you want, just be flexible and be reasonable. All right. So I recommend you hit techbait.net relatively frequently. You see these articles, they won't pass you by, and you can, you can basically, you can be on top of things in this space and in the technology sphere. You won't be left behind, and you'll know what's going on. And a lot of times I just go to my site and I get an idea what to do a video on. Just right now I'm looking at these things. Mobile app kick to fork Stellar for fee-free blockchain. There's some interesting stuff here. The economics of Ethereum's coming consensus change are taking shape. Oracle to launch its blockchain platform this month. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. Ethereum Classic has gone up while making improvements, right? And it goes on and on. So these things, and they get updated regularly. So, but my point here is, don't get caught up too much between the anti-crypto Luddites on the one side or the Bitcoin purists on the other. I believe that the best way to go is the middle road where, and don't just do it for money. I would hope that this shone through what I was saying, because I kind of meant this all along, but I will specifically say it's not just about the money or the investment. It's about the technology. It's about the game-changing part of it. It's about the industry evolution, how industries will evolve and become more streamlined and more efficient through the use of these technologies, how these technologies will change entire industries. That's what a lot of this is about, okay, as well. It's not just making money on an investment, all right? So the crypto community needs to grow up in some respects and become mature, right? They need more than just about quick investments, long-term holding of real projects, backing real projects, and supporting them to fruition. That's what a lot of this is about and what it should be about, in my opinion. So please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'd appreciate it. It costs nothing to do so. Visit techbait.net regularly. And I'll make another video when I come up with something that I think is worth speaking about. And hopefully you stuck with me this far. I know that I'm not shouting into the thing and hanging from the chandeliers here, but I hope that what I'm saying makes some sense. And I'd appreciate the thumbs up and subscription. Thanks a lot. And see you next time.